What's up, y'all? It's Ty. In this video today, we're going to be going over and looking at our top 10 wide receivers in college football 25 Ultimate Team. I do want to say, from top to bottom, we've got some absolute studs at that wide receiver position. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It just comes down a lot of it to preference and who you guys ultimately do prefer. If you are new to my channel and have not yet, make sure you guys do smash that subscribe button as we're on the road towards 10,000 subscribers. First, I want to give some honorable mentions. The first one I'm going to give it to Zay Flowers. The biggest thing for me was Zay Flowers, and I'm not saying it's the only reason, but he is only 5'9". Like, that hurts the card a decent amount, and I don't know how important height truly is. Like, at the slot wide receiver position, still can be just fine, and obviously speed-wise is good, but I do think that hurts him a little bit. But I think when it comes down to it, that's really my big red flag with Zay Flowers, is he's just too small. The other honorable mention I do want to give is a guy that I actually like for his price. That is Chad Johnson. I think this card for his price is really good. It just comes down to, like, I think there are other better cards than him. And another thing that I am going to slowly start looking at is these player traits. Like, how important are they? I don't know. But when it comes down to Chad Johnson, he does not have a lot of the ones that you might want. Now, let's get into our top 10. Coming in at my number 10 is a card I've actually never had on my squad. That is Michael Crabtree. Some people have told me that he plays better for them than any other card they've used. Now, I can't necessarily talk that highly of Michael Crabtree because, again, I haven't used him, but his stats do look really good. 86 speed acceleration, good catching, route runner looks good, acceleration looks good. He is 6'1" as well. There's just really no downsides with Michael Crabtree. However, again, he's not a card I've used, and there's nothing that really stands out when I am looking at him outside of his trucking. I mean, he's an 86 truck, 85 break tackle. That, I guess, is this part that really stands out for Michael Crabtree. Still comes in at my number 10, as I do think there are better options. At my number 9, we're plugging in Mike Evans. Yes, Mike Evans is ahead of Crabtree, in my opinion. This card right now is super cheap and definitely, in my opinion, one of the best value cards in the entire game. 45,000 coins, 6'5", 85 speed acceleration, 85 catching. You, again, look at the player traits. I don't know if I love them. Obviously, he has a high motor, does have run after catches, but I don't know. I just think, again, I don't know how important those player traits truly are when it comes down to it yet. But Mike Evans is 6'5", good speed acceleration, a card that I've used, and he's been really, really, really good for me. One of the most overpriced cards in the entire game is going to come in at my number 8. That is Randy Moss. When Randy Moss first came out, when Mike Evans was out, I said, okay, I mean, Randy Moss is cool, but how much better is he than Mike Evans? And I do think he's slightly better, but I don't think it's by much. And so Randy Moss here is going to come in at my number 8. Again, 6'4", and compared to Mike Evans, don't know how much better this card is going to be. And right now, he's 340,000 coins on Xbox. If you're paying that, all I can say is I'm sorry, because he is not worth that price. At my number 7, we're plugging in Darius Clemens, the wide receiver at Oregon State here. The thing that I want to start with for Darius Clemens is the 85 speed, 86 acceleration, obviously good catching. There's just no real downfalls with Darius Clemens. The card is really, really, really solid. Now, with that, there's nothing that really stands out. 6'3", okay, 130,000 coins. One nice thing I like about him are his player traits. You look at it, fights for extra yards, has a high motor, clutch, aggressive catches, braces for all hits. I mean, to me, again, I don't know how important these player traits are yet, but he's got everything, passes every eye test. Darius Clemens, to me, that's the reason he is on this list, like, this high over a guy, let's say, like a Zay Flowers, as well as his height being what it is. Coming in at my number 6 here, guys, we're going to plug in another newer wide receiver that we did get, I do believe, last week in the Ultimate Alumni set, that being Garrett Wilson. Now, when I look at Garrett Wilson, I see a really complete wide receiver, 87 speed, 87 acceleration, good catch, good route runner all across the boards. I mean, Trucking's not great, but his spin move is okay. His juke move is really solid. Whether it's making plays after the catch, whether it is catching the ball, Garrett Wilson is an absolute stud. He's only 6 feet tall, but at least he's 6 feet tall and he's not like 5'9", because that is really, with again Zay Flowers, what held me back quite a bit. Cracking our top 5 here at our number 5. We're plugging in an LTD, this one being A.J. Brown. Now, I actually had A.J. Brown on my squad for a decent amount of time, and this card was an absolute stud for me. The problem is he is just really, really, really expensive. Now, the nice part is he is an LTD, so he does have a decent quick sell value. But I still don't think he's worth what he is going for right now. And I think that's the hard part with AJ Brown. I think right now you guys can see his quick sell value is 175,000 coins. So it's still more than that. Like he's 275. Don't think he's necessarily worth that. But 87 speed acceleration, good route runner. He is 6'1", can go get the football as well, make those tough catches. Player traits, we're going to start looking more and more at him. Does have possession catch, run after catch catches, sideline catches, has a high motor, fights for extra yards. So does brace for big hitters as well. Again, I don't know exactly how important all those are quite yet, but A.J. Brown has nearly all of them coming in at my number 5. At my number 4, we're plugging in another newer wide receiver. We have gotten a lot of wide receivers recently. This one being Devonte Smith, 87 speed, 86 acceleration, good catching, good route runner, 6 feet tall. Just kind of is the complete package at that wide receiver position. Right now, Devonte Smith, when you look at his price, is going to be pretty expensive, but it's not crazy. Like when the card first came out, he's like $350. Now he's down to $250, and again, is a really, really solid wide receiver. Do I recommend him or A.J. Brown? I think it's close. I lean Devonte Smith as being the better option, and I do think he is a little bit cheaper. Cracking our top 3, Rome Odunze up next. 204,000 coins is an absolute steal for Odunze. It's 87 speed, 87 catch in traffic. Route running is fantastic as well. When I had Odunze, he was Mr. Get Open. I feel like he always found a way for me to get open. Is 6'3" as well. Player traits are really, really solid. On Xbox right now, 204,000 coins is not bad at all, especially knowing he probably will go down a little bit more on Friday when the Ultimate Alumni Drop does get released again. At my number 2, we have an LTD, this one being Desmond Howard, 464,000 coins. Do you think that's a little overpriced? 88 speed acceleration, 87 catch, 86 catch in traffic. I mean, I think the difference between Desmond Howard and Odunze is massive. A little downside to Desmond Howard is the fact that he is only 5'10", right? So like our top 2 wide receivers that we talk about today are going to be really short, 5'10". And when you look at his player traits, not necessarily anything that stands out there either. But you know, when you look at his speed, look at his acceleration, that's what really stands out for me with Desmond Howard coming in at my number 2. And was there ever a doubt who my number 1 wide receiver was in college football ultimate team? It is Luther Burton. If I could type his name, that would be awesome. Luther Burton here, 90 overall season 1 card. Right now, guys, price-wise, 477,000 on Xbox, 495 on PlayStation. The best wide receiver in the game, 88 speed, 89 acceleration, 90 catch. I mean, this card is elite, and I have had the pleasure to use this card, and trust me, his stats pass that eye test. I mean, when I've had and used Luther Burton, the card has been an absolute stud. Is he worth 477? Honestly, I think he's worth kind of that price. I think he's way more worth his price than a guy like Desmond Howard. And if you have all the coins in the world and want the best team in the game, Luther Burton definitely makes that squad. That's going to wrap it up for my video talking about the best wide receivers in college football Ultimate Team 25. You guys let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments. Who is I too high on? Who is I too low on? And is there a wide receiver that I left off that you guys would have included? Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you're new, and as always, man, I love you guys. Have a blessed day.